Welcome to episode 11 of DE Our Guest, a Disney Elite podcast for the Wishes competition. I am your host, Hercules, and we are just one round away from the end of our journey. On today's podcast, we have our first ever podcast challenge, a double interview with Disney Elite Sarah and David, our hero info containing our final round details, as well as our results. So let's move on to our next segment, Podcast Challenge. The rules are quite simple. Listen to this podcast, taking in as much detail as possible. Before we share our results of the round, we'll ask all of our listeners one question that pertains to something you've just heard. The first person to comment the correct answer on the OC of this podcast wins. Remember, listen carefully throughout the podcast and comment on the OC with your correct answer. The winner of our podcast challenge will receive a free set of Disney stickers for your Line app. And that is our podcast challenge. All right, Disney fans, listen up as we have an amazing double interview for you. Here in the studio with us is Disney Elite Sarah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, John. I'm really excited to be here.
We're excited to have you guys. We also have David here. Thanks for joining us, David.
Thanks for having me, John.
All right, guys. Today I want to talk about your experiences with competitions, especially as they head into the final rounds. But first, let's get to know you both a little better. Sarah, what is your role in DE?
I play Pocahontas and Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas, but I also serve as a co-leader in Disney Elite. I specify in group songs and group work, so really making sure that we have the best quality group songs out there.
Definitely. I love Disney Elite's group songs. David, how about you? What is your role in DE?
I was cast for the voice of Quasimodo, the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Now, David, you were also last year's podcast host for DE Our Guest for our Wishes competition. I gotta say, I definitely have shoes to fill. Let's stick with you though, David. Tell us about some of your solo competition highlights over the years.
I've competed in a few Disney solo comps and Smule Olympics, but my most notable achievement is taking home the Ultimate Effects Wars trophy last year. It was my fave solo comp experience on Smule.
You definitely have a knack for effects and using them so creatively, and that win was very well deserved. Sarah, how about you? Tell us about some of your solo competition highlights over the years.
I've been competing on Smule for about 4 or 5 years now, and I would say my favorite competition, even though I've loved almost all of the solo competitions I've done, my favorite had to have been 2018 Smule Olympics, when I competed in the bands category and ended up winning overall. It was really exciting because I put my heart and soul into my finale piece, and to see it be rewarded was just the best feeling in the whole world.
I've been saying this on our podcast that when you put your heart and soul into your entries, that's what really elevates it to the next level. Sarah, let's continue with you. Give us some of your personal highlights from being a part of Team DE.
I love competing with Team DE, and it was really the first group that I competed with on Smule. There's tons of funny things that happen, and stressful times, and inside jokes, and voice messages that are saved. But my overall favorite memory is when we won the World Series of Smule in 2019. We were such the underdog at that time, and I don't think anyone had expected us to win. And we came from so far behind, so it was really fun and really challenging. And to celebrate with everyone on Team DE was literally a dream.
I have to say, my favorite memories of any competition are those inside jokes and definitely the bonding with not only your teammates, but your competitors as well. David, let's move on to you. From picking a song to the final product, what goes into building solo competition tracks that stand out from the rest?
Layering, effect selection, and ear candy are 3 main ingredients to a tasty Smule production. Leave out one, and your performance will lack balance. Layering allows you to create a full sound. You can break up a song into sections and strategically change your delivery in tandem with audio effects to give your song more depth, space, distortion, and more. Ear candy is all the magical embellishments and creative touches that take your performance to the next level.
I love that you call it ear candy because that's definitely what using effects wisely is. We've already heard some amazing entries that use effects, but this is just going to push it even further as we go into the final rounds. So Sarah, is there anything you do differently in the final rounds of a comp that you may not have done in earlier rounds?
At this point in the competition, I'm all about calculated risk. Every other entry you've done, you've had to make sure every detail is on par so that you move ahead in the competition. But this is it. This is the finale. If you've had something specific on your heart or in your mind, maybe it's a new vocal effect or a certain type of background vocal you've wanted to try, or maybe it's even a really specific song that you absolutely love, go ahead and do it. Put your heart and soul into it. And the judges are going to see that.
They most definitely will. David, as a judge for a number of DE competitions and beyond, what are some characteristics of a winning performance?
A winning performance is polished, precise, and genuine. Emotion and delivery are believable. Sound is studio quality. It's top-notch. Concept is creative beyond belief. A performance that tells a story. It makes an impact. It leaves the listener feeling amazed and inspired.
Yes, creating a story. I definitely take a page from Disney Imagineers that their whole job is to tell a story, and that's what our competitors are doing here. Sarah, what does creativity mean to you?
Yes, the creativity question. It's always a tricky one. I think it's really important to keep in mind that creativity isn't just about adding things. It's not just about using background vocals for background vocals' sake or effects for effects' sake. It all leads back to me to that central idea. Having a central story, emotion, character, theme that really drives everything is so important. So creativity for me is all about finding that central idea. How creative it is or how unique it is, if it's never been done before, if it makes sense, if it's new, if it's fresh, or maybe it's not. That's really what I look at when I'm judging creativity.
Definitely. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but thank you both so much for joining us on the podcast.
You bet. Thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Yeah, it was really fun. I love talking about competitions. Good luck, everyone.
All right, listeners, here is your podcast challenge question. What trophy did David take home in a Smule competition last year? Remember to post your answer as a comment in this OC. The first correct answer wins a free Disney sticker set for the Line Messenger app. All right, Disney fans, it's time to reveal the results. Drum roll, please. In third place, here is Run Rosie.
And if you cough, stay home, don't go to the mine. Keep 6 feet apart when marching in line. Though life seems like a bore, sleeping.
In second place, here is Meg.
Sebastian is hiding his head in the sand. This pandemic hit Newton is hot crustacean band.
It's too bad, really, because I miss their loud, catchy tunes. Something is wrong, I'm feeling remorse. I'm sweating a lot, my voice has grown hoarse. I'm questioning all that I've done. What is happening to me?
And in first place, here is Poppy Poigno.
My happily ever afters on hold. Our fairy tale stories remain untold. And I gotta get out of this house. I got. Quarantine sucks. The princess locked out.
And those are your top 3 entries for round 4. They are part of the 5, moving on to round 5. All right, Disney fans, it's time for a quick segment of Hero Info. Your hero info for today is our final round's theme, Showstopper. This is it. This is our finale. There are no limitations for this round. Your round requirements must include 1 Disney song, but no effect or layer restrictions. You must use the hashtag DEWishes S5 our finale and your group hashtag. Use the provided cover art. Mashups are allowed, but no freestyle tracks. Now listen carefully. You must submit your entry on time using the Google Doc, and the song must be closed in public by Thursday, July 8th at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. Well, that's it for today. This is Hercules signing off. Good luck and have fun.